So let me get this straight. You're sitting there, you're watching all these cold approach videos. You want a woman in your life. You are stuck on making the first move with the cold approach, step 0, right? Just saying hi to this woman that you see, this beautiful woman outside. You're so stuck and anxious about this one aspect of the very long process of actually acquiring a female. Yet, you don't understand this one thing, which is the number that you get from the fucking cold approach is so insignificant. It doesn't mean shit. Because you know how many women you will approach when you finally get the balls to do it, that will give you their number, give you their Instagram, and nothing comes of it. For multiple reasons. There's been women that I've literally approached, bro, that I'll get the number, the interaction's amazing, right? And it's not one of those fake ones. You know, you have those interactions where some women will be nice out of maybe fear or just they don't want to be awkward, etc., etc. The interactions sometimes will be so good and I know they're interested. But there's so many factors that can deter them away from actually maintaining contact with you beyond that point, right? One of them might be they have a boyfriend. Another one might be they just come out of a relationship. Another one might be they just can't be fucked to get new dick, right? They've already got some, okay? I don't want to be vulgar, but that's just the facts, right? They might just already have dick going on in their life already. And they ain't really feeling you enough to the point where they would add another one in and make themselves a whore. So there's that. Getting the number is literally, step 0 is doing the approach. Getting the number is step 1, okay? But this is the thing. You'll watch these cold approach videos. You'll get misled through these videos, right? And I used to be one of them. I used to watch cold approach videos before I started doing cold approaches. And I would think, oh, this guy got her number. That means he's smashing this girl, right? He's got her number. That means they're a thing, right? Look at all these women. He got 10 numbers in that video. That means he's got 10 women. Bro, let me tell you now. You can get 100 numbers, okay? And you might get 20% of those numbers that actually turn into responses, okay? And then from the responses, you got to chop it down even more. How many of those responses actually turn into dates, and how many of those dates turn into actual romance? So where you're sitting there unconfident, debating in your head whether you should do a cold approach, this is what gives you the power to actually do the cold approach. When you understand this one thing, when you realize that it doesn't matter if you get the number or not, okay, because there's so many things that can happen between the time that you get the number and actually texting her. When you get this in the head that the number literally means absolutely fuck all. It's not like back in the 90s where you get a number and it actually means something. Like now, you get her number. When you understand that it means absolutely nothing that you got a number, it empowers you to do more approaches because guess what? You know there's a low chance of it actually turning into something. And I'm not looking at this from a pessimistic angle necessarily. I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm being realistic. Because if you give yourself this kind of dilemma in your head, like, I want to approach this girl, but I'm scared. Why am I scared? Because I don't want her to reject me when I ask for her number. When you change the paradigm in your head to, I'm going to approach this girl and just say hi, is a big difference. And the reason you would make that paradigm shift is because you know that getting the number is irrelevant. Okay? It's genuinely irrelevant. And I want you to look at cold approaches as this kind of practice for yourself of a measure of your confidence as a man. Because if you see something that you want and you let your anxiety, your fear, your weakness win in that situation, you're sub-communicating to yourself that you allow your fear to win and you're scared to actually do what you have to do to get the result that you want. That kind of mind frame that you can fall into as a result of foregoing opportunities can start to kind of embed themselves into other areas of your life. Because realistically, every time you have an opportunity to do something that can potentially better your life, you should do it. And that applies to the cold approach, and that applies to women. When you see a beautiful woman outside, if you conquer your fears every single time, right, and you build that track record with yourself that when you see the opportunity, you are going to take it. When I see that I want that woman, I'm going to go talk to her. Yeah. When you start to get into that mind frame of conquering and not backing down and shying away from the opportunity, you will begin to build confidence and you will actually begin to get results. And you will eventually, as a result of the actual physical process that you're embarking upon, you will court a woman. It's inevitable, okay? Or you might court a few, depends what your thing is, right? But the point I'm trying to make is the number doesn't mean shit. It's the most irrelevant part of the whole process. The cold approach is literally for you as a man to do what you have to do and to prove to yourself that you're confident and to prove to yourself that this is just a part of your life, which is going out and getting what you want. Grabbing your balls and doing what you have to do, irrespective of how scared you are. That's the process that we're trying to do here. Now, obviously, the results are somewhat important in terms of, you know, you do eventually want a woman, right? You do want to have women in your life because you're probably not gay. Great. But guess what? You have to think of it as a secondary thing, because otherwise, if you put that as the primary focus before you do every single cold approach, you will bottle so many. You will be so scared out of your fucking box that you will just avoid as many cold approaches as possible, instead of the contrary, which would be, instead of avoiding each cold approach or as many as possible, you're trying to actually complete as many cold approaches as possible. Like at the start of this year, I didn't do many cold approaches. I'd done like maybe a few in my life, okay? At the start of this year, I said to my friend, bro, I'm going to do 100 cold approaches in 30 days, 60 days, whatever it was, right? And I did that. And this is the thing. When you say something as a man, you say you're going to do something and you do it, that alone gives you confidence. I'm not even talking about the actual cold approaches themselves. That me saying that I was going to do something and I did it, that gave me confidence. Then thinking about what I actually did through that process, which was a cold approach 100 women, obviously that gave me confidence. Now it's like I've got a track record in my head. It's like David Goggins talks about it, right? Cookie jar. I've got the cookie jar there where I can say to myself, when I see an attractive girl and I'm not maybe feeling myself one day, I'm a bit shy one day, whatever the fuck it is, I will still do it because I have that proven track record with myself that I've done it so many times. So whatever my brain's trying to tell me in this moment now is bullshit, because categorically I've approached 100 women. When that's in your mind, it's very difficult to fail a cold approach. But this is why the numbers are relevant. You think the phone number, the Instagram, it doesn't matter in that context, because the fact is I've done X amount of cold approaches. That's what's important. So whenever an opportunity presents itself for me to approach a woman and get to know her, I can do it. And then whatever happens from that is secondary. That's how you got to think about these cold approaches, and that will set you apart from a lot of men. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. For those of you that are scared of cold approach women, just think of it like that. Try and adopt this kind of psychology, because it's worked for me. When I see a pretty woman, like, bro, I'm in the gym. I was in the gym the other day, and so many guys, and I don't like to do cold approach in the gym, by the way, for multiple reasons. Maybe I'll make a video on it. Let me know. But all these guys were looking at this woman, and they were kind of looking at me because they know me. We all know each other in the gym, and they're like, we're all just kind of like looking at each other like, oh yeah, she's peng. In that moment, I've done so many cold approaches, and I'm so confident in myself, and I'm so determined to prove myself to myself, right, which is the main thing, that in that moment I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cold if I was the guy out of all of us staring, essentially, or looking at least, that actually had the balls to go up to her? So I did it. And when you're capable of these kind of things, right, I'm not saying that's like a huge thing, but it's definitely kind of cool, right? I can just do that, right? Because those guys obviously wanted to do it. Because if you're looking at a woman, you want to talk to her, you want to know her, you want to fuck her. Like, let's be completely honest. We're guys here, right? So out of all the guys in the gym that were staring at this girl, and it was literally everybody that wanted to fuck this girl, I was the one that took the first step. But that only comes as a result of not focusing on the result or the phone number. Simple.